G'day, I'm omdevaji, Sheshanag Yoga Center. What on earth is Kundalini? This video is about worthiness. I've done a lot of work in the spiritual domain to do with knowledge, essential embodiment, trying to step up in regards to being present, having integrity, being vulnerable, being on purpose, and sexual power and confidence. Recently I've pushed my consort away because my pains were so massive around my own unworthiness. She never once said that I wasn't worthy. But the heartbreak and solitude and the pain, when I really look into it and embrace it, there's a deep-seated unworthiness within my being. And I can trace back many experiences in my life when I didn't feel worthy, didn't feel acknowledged. I've done a lot of videos on self-acceptance. And I think self-acceptance is a little bit different to worthiness. Like, I accept that I'm this constitution, predisposed to intelligence, intuition, very sensitive. But underlying it all, am I really ever enough within my own being? I've blamed my immaturity, I've blamed my victim psyche, blamed my partner, my consort that I loved so much, even in all her bentness. I see our souls so deeply connected and entwined that I was unable not to project that unworthiness onto her. When I do have time alone and feel deep into myself, I just want to cry because of the pain, not of her leaving me, but at the core of my being, the hopelessness in the unworthiness. For me to feel like a man, for me to feel like I am good enough for myself, then all the rest will flow from that. It's really deep. And I'm so grateful for the recent experiences in my life. I understand I'm a creator. I know that what I think happens without a doubt. There's no doubt in my mind that there's a universal aspect of me that's connected to everything, and through my own thought system, which goes via my DNA and prana values, can go out into the universe on a causal level and then manifest through the subtle and the physical to become actual real experiences. I get that. But there's a part of me that's experienced on the human level not being enough. It's around my third chakra, and a little bit reflects from my third chakra into my heart, because in that I'm not able to love myself enough to be able to be not attached, not demanding, and not projecting of all my shit onto someone else. In that own behaviour of not being enough or not worthy enough, I've looked for answers outside of myself. My patterns want to remanifest my, what you call it, lifelines, instead of sinking into the unworthiness and being able to embrace it and see it for what it is. I use these vines to pull myself out so I don't have to sink into this quicksand of lack of self-worth. And mine have been in the past marijuana, which is a classic example of not thinking I'm good enough, because when you really think about it, or when I really think about it, putting these little hot things into my lungs so I can numb my experience of life, sure, I can be connected through it, but a real shaman or a real seer is connected without the gear. So there's a self-hatred that endorses the self-abuse. So since I've been facing the issues, God bless Kali, and the intensity of such, to actually make me face the marijuana addiction, then I've been able to experience a lot more pain and tipping my toes into the quicksand of self-worthiness, or whatever you want to call it, lack of self-worth. It's been a beautiful experience, no matter how uncomfortable it is. Then I've got another vine, historically to do with having sex. And I've been doing a lot of work on sacred sexuality. So now I'm realizing that connection is the most important part, and integrity in that sexual energy is phenomenal if you can maintain it. So having sex with anyone and without connection is also disrespectful to my own energetic system and self-worth. It's like trying to create worth through an unworthy act. So, is it really possible? I don't believe that it is. So they're my two vines that I use to escape facing myself and my inner lack of self-worth. There you go. There's some real omdevaji at his core. I'll lighten things up a little bit because I'm really a good person in many ways. I'm just talking about the deepest unconscious program running in my CPU that inhibits my smooth functioning in regards to an intimate relationship and being able to experience that intimate relationship within myself. Like, there's many good things about me. I'm very selfless in many ways. I'm very intelligent. I'm a pleasing sort of person. I've got phenomenal intuition. My focus is pretty much towards my kids and Sanskrit, writing books on Kundalini and building a Sanskrit temple. I keep myself in shape. And generally I'm reasonably non-judgmental. Been in the experience of self-growth like nothing else. Come to a point where it's pretty much all the same. What everyone's saying is identical. live in your heart. And from your heart you're in the present moment. And in the present moment there's only an experience of pure being. If you can tap deep enough into that pure being, then underlying that is the Anandamaya Kosha, which is the dimension of bliss. There you go. Omdevaji at the core. Vulnerable. Bursting in pain. Going deep into it and trying to embrace it. Trying to love it. Knowing that it has the answers. As long as I don't have an aversion to it to avoid it. Share the world. Sheshnag.com. What on earth is Kundalini? Oh. Om Namah Shivaya.